Good evening. My topic is the characteristics of closing diphthongs. So, diphthongs are the combination of two pure vowel sounds that consist of a movement or glide from one vowel to another to create a single sound. The first sound is typically longer and more prominent, while the second sound is shorter and less emphasized. The sounds that make up a diphthong are called the onset and nucleus, while the onset being the first sound and the nucleus being the second sound. One important thing to note about diphthongs is that they are different from monophthongs, which are vowel sounds that consist of a single unchanging sound. So, according to Peter Roach, a renowned linguist, there are two types of diphthongs: closing diphthongs and centering diphthongs. The centering diphthongs involve centralization of the tongue, and in these diphthongs, the sound starts with one vowel and ends with a vowel that is closer to the neutral vowel sound. Uh, for example, the English word air has a centering diphthong air, which starts with the closed mid vowel sound and ends with the sound close to the neutral vowel sound. There are three types of centering diphthongs: ua as in tour, ear as in ear, and air as in hair. So closing diphthongs, as the name suggests, involves a closing movement of the tongue. And in these diphthongs, the sound starts with one vowel and ends with another vowel that is closer in tongue position. For example, the English word buy has a closing diphthong I, which starts with the open vowel sound and ends with the closer vowel sound I. So there are five types of closing diphthongs: I as in time, oi as in boy, a as in day, ow as in house, and o as in boat. So each of these diphthongs is made up of a combination of two vowel sounds, and they can be found in a wide range of English words. The closing diphthongs have the characteristic that they all end with a glide towards a closer vowel, because the second part of the diphthong is weak and they often do not reach a position that could be called close. The important thing is that they glide from a relatively more open and towards a relatively closer vowel is produced. In the diphthong A, the position of the tongue from the vowel A, which is a front vowel that is lower than the half closed position, and after that, the tongue moves to the direction of the vowel position I, that is a little above the half closed position, and the lips are spread. So, thus, it is gradually closing, such as rain, tail, etc. The diphthong I, which is a front closing full diphthong where the tongue moves to a closer position as if to produce I vowel sound, and the lips are apart and gradually closing. For example, mine, file, line, etc. So in the diphthong oi, which is a back front closing full diphthong, because the back of the tongue is raised to a point midway between O and O. After that, the front tongue is gradually raised in the direction of I, and the lips are rounded for the first element of the diphthong. For example, soil, point, coin, etc. So in the diphthong ow, which is a back closing full diphthong, because the front part of the tongue is slightly raised for the first element of the diphthong then the tongue moves in the direction of oo, and the lips start at the neutral position and gradually rounded. For example, found, sow, now, etc. And the fifth diphthong, uh, o, which is a closing half diphthong, and the position of the tongue is in the position of the vowel a. After that, the tongue moves to a closer position of oo. For example, go, boat, only, etc. The closing diphthongs are formed when the tongue moves from one vowel to another in the same syllable, and they are also known as falling diphthongs, as the second vowel sound is usually shorter than the first. They are often found at the end of the words, and their pronunciation can vary depending on the regional accents and individual speech patterns. So, closing diphthongs are an important feature of English pronunciation, and mastering their pronunciation can help in improving spoken English. Thank you.